Honestly, no joke, this is about take 8 and I'm not doing any more if this doesn't work. Right, two things I want to talk about today is harness sizing and manufacturing tolerances. So, ignore the dishevelled look. It's coming at the end of summer. I'm needing a haircut and beard trimming. Glasses are all stuck together with sellotape. But let's move on. Right, so harness sizing. People get in touch with us asking how to size their dogs. Obviously, that's what we do. And quite often they'll say, what I'll do is I'll meet up with so and so at the weekend. They've got run dog harnesses, and I'll try them on because our dogs are about the same size. It's okay to do that, but it's not going to give you the right impression of how a new run dog harness is going to fit on your dog. And there's quite a few reasons for that. So one of the main reasons is our sizes and the fit of the harnesses have changed quite a lot over the last 4 or 5 years. They've changed because, bizarrely, our latest model of XBack is more in line with our first models of XBack. So if you're trying on a different model from the one that we're doing just now, it's not going to look the same, it's not going to fit the same, it's not going to sit the same, and you might not be fully impressed with how it is. So even if you compared the model that we're doing just now to the previous model, there's about 2 or 3 centimetres in each size range. It's approximately 2 to 3 centimetres different length compared to the model before. I felt the model before was slightly too short, and the geometry, the internal geometry, will have changed slightly on that as well. So we've gone back to a slightly longer fit. Now, you can look into that as much as you want, but you really don't know how it is until it's on the dog. So if you're comparing your dog to theirs and you're trying that model on, like I say, it's not going to fit the same as the model that we're doing just now. So be very wary of that. Your most accurate way of doing things is to get in touch with us and buy a new harness from us. You know, the majority of the time nowadays, we used to work primarily with measurements. Majority of the time now, the best way to do things is go by an accurate weight of your dog. Now, you've got to give us an accurate weight, because honestly, I've had it in the past where somebody contacted me, their dog was, I can't, it was about 5 sizes out kind of thing. And you know, you can't do that kind of thing. Get an accurate weight of your dog, because there's even, you know, if your dog's 26 kilos and you tell me it's 24 kilos, that can be a size out. If 23 kilos and your dog's 21 kilos, a size out, it's going to make all the difference. So get an accurate weight of your dog first and give us that. Then if we need to, we can work around other measurements. The types of dogs that we cater for, fit our harnesses, it's usually look on the measurement, the weight of the dog alone. Then we can shorter back or a longer back, anything like that. Cater for that as well. Right, so I think I've covered everything on the harness size. And if I haven't, I probably haven't, but just if you need to ask any questions on that, just drop it in the comments box below. So now I want to talk we'll go into the workshop and we'll talk about this manufacturing tolerances. Great, it's still running, Jesus. The last couple of times I've came in and turned it around and it's not been working. Right, so manufacturing tolerances, I'm going to zip through this because I bore you to death with my waffling. Now, this is a bit complicated. So when we stitch the harnesses together, they shrink. The stitching, it's a big heavy machine that we use, and the thread is tight to pull it all together nicely. But what it does, when you start stitching that all together, it tightens it all up. it shrinks it basically. So the measurements that you might send us is the finished harness size, but where it can go slightly wrong is when it all shrinks. So when we do our measurements to cut the material to start with, we have to make the harnesses longer for them to shrink once we start stitching them back. So they shrink when we put the padding in. Again, it tightens it all up. Now an example of that is this here. Can you see how it's curved? The reason it's curved is I've stitched down one side of it. Can you see how much that would shrink the overall length of the harness? Excuse me. Quite amazing really. So, manufacturing tolerances. A lot of manufacturers, when they're making stuff, they'll say there might be a 5% discrepancy in it. Ours is a lot less than that, but you will still get a difference in some of the harnesses. So somebody might say, I've got two harnesses here that I got from you. One's 74.5 and the other one's 73.5. So it's 1 centimetre difference. Or it might be half a centimetre difference or something along those lines. And this is why it is. I'm just explaining it to you. Most of you won't even realise. It won't make much difference obviously, but that's why it is. It can't be spot on every single time. There's always little differences. Now I'm not going to go into how we make the harnesses, but even the way that we make the harnesses, how we finish them, i.e. this bit here, a lot of that is freehand, and I can't really go into that too much. But anyway, that's why you've got those slight differences on the harnesses. Alright, so I hope that makes sense. I hope I haven't waffled too much. I wish you all a nice day. Billy for Undug.